Hi guys, welcome back to another video with Pratham Test Prep. This is your host Sanjeet Bhatia again with a new video on your legal maxims and legal terms. As we have been discussing this for a long period of time, I've made a lot of videos on your legal terms and maxims, as these questions can be very important in your AILET exam and other entrance exams too, like SLAT, MHSET, CLAT also, right? So do make sure that you like the share channel and subscribe too, and also don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get all the regular free updates, right? So if you are looking for any guidance or any queries, then you can definitely give us a call on 5 times 9755392 or 9599980111. That's the number that we have. You can definitely give us a call on that number. Now, if you are not a part of our Telegram channel, do make sure that you're subscribing to the Telegram channel. It is under the name of CLAT@Pratham. Make sure that you are subscribing to it for all the free updates on our videos, quizzes, and whatever activities are happening during the time of the session, right? And this is a free update. You can take it for free. You can go and subscribe for free. You don't have to pay anything for this service, and definitely it will help you a lot in your CLAT preparation. Chaliye. So coming to the next part is that what are the legal maxims for the day? I have selected a lot of legal maxims today, so you can give it a look and see which one can pop up in your examination. Definitely that will be something helpful for you guys. So the first legal maxim says ab initio, that we have discussed earlier, that is from the beginning, right? So if we say that void ab initio, that is the term that comes out in your contracts, right? That the contract was void ab initio, that means from the beginning, that was void from the beginning itself. So ab initio is the term which is used from the beginning. Now the next term that comes for the day is actionable per se. The act is very punishable. No proof of damage is required. Okay, जो act किया गया है, जैसे अगर attempt to murder, right? There is no proof of damage that has to be proven there, right? The act that the person has done is punishable itself, right? So that is something that is there in actionable per se. Okay, now coming to the next one is actio personalis mortur cum persona. That means a personal right of action dies with the person. Okay, for like in the other sense, you can also say that if the person dies, the right to sue is gone. Okay, अगर कोई आदमी ने मर्डर किया है, ठीक है, उस पर ट्रायल चल रहा है, and during the trial he dies or like just vanishes, okay, then whom will you sue, right? There is no right to sue then, because the person is dead, right? So you cannot sue a dead person. Now the next one is actori incumbent onus probandi. That means the burden of proof is on the plaintiff, right? So you all know who's the plaintiff. So the burden of proof is on the plaintiff. When the suit is filed, the burden of proof is on the plaintiff. That means the actori incumbent onus probandi, right? So that's the term that is being used. The next one is actus reus non facit reum nisi mens sit rea. This is a very, very common maxim that you will hear here and there for a long period of time. So then the term is conviction of a crime that requires a proof of a criminal act and intent, right? Or an act does not make a defendant guilty without guilt in mind. Intention, right? So that is what is being said in this term. So we know that actus reus is a very important term, and it has popped up in the exams a lot of times. So make sure that you are learning this term very, very carefully. Okay. Conviction of a crime requires proof of a criminal act and intent. हमेशा इंटेंट होना जरूरी है. मैलिफाइड इंटेंशन के बारे में हम बात करते हैं क्रिमिनल लॉ में. सो मैलिफाइड इंटेंशन इज वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट ऑफ अ क्राइम. सो मेक श्योर that the intention part is covered while you are even reading in the examination. Okay, because it might be hidden, that you have to see what kind of intention the person was carrying through the question, right? It will be delivered to you by the question itself. So make sure that you are reading it very carefully. Coming to the next part, that is ad hoc, right? Ad hoc basically comes from the term for the particular end or case at hand, right? So ad hoc means whatever is at hand. Okay, so that is a very easy term. Now the next is alibi. That means at another place or elsewhere. Okay, these terms can be used in your comprehension based passages, so you need not get confused. You know the meaning of all these words, as these are very important words for your examination. So make sure that you know all of them, because they can pop up anywhere, literally anywhere. So knowing these words will make a lot of difference. The next is amicus curiae. That means a friend of the court. I've discussed this earlier also. I'm discussing it again. It's a revision also for you guys who haven't seen the previous videos. So a friend of the court, or the member of the bar who's appointed to assist the court. For example, a forensics expert, right? He is an amicus curiae. That means that he's a friend of the court. He will help the court to solve the case, right? He will tell what kind of murders were there, or what kind of injuries that the person has caused, and what kind of things that they can do, right? Because it's a very important thing. You need a forensics expert to understand what is happening, right? That how did the person die, what were the injury looking like, the marks on their faces, the marks on their neck, everything is considered very, very important in a criminal case. So there can be a person who's appointed to assist the court particularly. Now the next one is ante liam mortem. That means before a suit brought, before the controversy instituted, spoken before a lawsuit is brought, right? So these kinds of things is called ante liam mortem. Now the next is assentio mentium. That means the meeting of mind, mutual assents. That means अगर आप contract कर रहे हैं, तो अगर आप किसी एक चीज के बारे में डिसाइड करें, तो दूसरे वाले इंसान को भी लगना चाहिए कि आप सेम चीज के बारे में बात करें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप एक इंसान के पास, उसके पास दो सैंट्रो कार है, एक व्हाइट कलर की, एक रेड कलर की, राइट? नाउ यू आर लुकिंग एट द व्हाइट सैंट्रो कार एंड यू आर ट्राइंग टू बाय दैट, एंड द पर्सन इज सेलिंग यू द रेड वन, right? But you both are talking about the same car, right? You never understood, but there were no mutual assent here, right? So assentio mentium was missing, right? So there has to be a mutual consent, mutual assent, that the same thing is being questioned and the same thing is being under the contract, the terms of contract. The statement of law made by the judge in the course of decision. Okay, this is just a statement here. Now this statement is not necessary that it will take to be the decision itself. ठीक है? अब जजेस, एक आप समझिए कि जजेस आर लाइक अ नॉर्मल ह्यूमन बीइंग. जब आप किसी चीज के बारे में बात कर रहे होते हैं, तो आप बहुत सारी चीजें उसके आसपास रैप अराउंड करते हैं, राइट? सो टू मेक इट लाइक साउंड बेटर और वॉट एवर. ओके, तो ये चीज जजेस भी करते हैं, राइट? व्हेन दे आर राइटिंग their decisions, they give some statements of law, right? कि ऐसा ऐसा law भी होना चाहिए, right? But it's not necessary for the decision out there. So these types of statements are called dictum. Okay, so statement of law that is made by the judge in the course of judgment, but not necessary to the decision itself, right? Very simple, straightforward, nothing very difficult. I made you understand how dictum works. Now coming to the next term for the day, that is detune. That means tort of wrongfully holding goods which belongs to someone else. ठीक है? आपके घर पे कोई पार्सल रख के गया अमेज़न का, वो आपका था ही नहीं, आपने उठा लिया, राइट? सो ये क्या हो गया? दिस इज द offense of detune. That means the tort of wrongfully holding goods which belongs to someone else. Okay, the next is donatio morisus causa. That means gift because of death, right? आपकी कोई for example, आपके great grandparents हैं, right? They passed away, so their property got distributed amongst all the people who are there in the lineage, right? Now this is the gift because of death, right? Simple as that. Or a future gift given in expectations of the donor's imminent death. Okay, I am experiencing some technical difficulty. Give me a second. AP. Okay, I guess we are back on track. That's perfect. So let's start with our next term for the day. The donatia morisus causa was going on, right? or a future gift given in expectations of donor's immediate death or imminent death, or only derived upon the donor's death. Basically कोई भी आपके नाम पे जायदाद लिख के जाता है, ठीक है, बेसिकली दैट इज डोनाशिया मोरिस कॉजा, जब वो मरेंगे तभी आपको मिलेगी, राइट? दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ gift that is being considered here. Now the next one that comes is Foros est celera fraudem. That means it is a fraud. It is a fraud to conceal a fraud. सिंपल है, सबको पता है ये बात, कोई डिफिकल्ट चीज नहीं है. अगर आप फ्रॉड को कंसील नहीं, अगर आप छुपाते हो तो वो भी एक फ्रॉड है, राइट? सो दैट्स हाउ थिंग्स वर्क. और हमारे कंट्री में तो ये बहुत एकदम परफेक्ट बैठती है टर्म, फ्रॉज एस क्लेरा फ्रॉडम. दैट मींस इट इज अ फ्रॉड टू कंसील अ फ्रॉड. Simple as that, right? Self-explanatory, nothing very difficult here. The next one is Firosi nulla voluntas est. That means mentally impaired or mentally incapable person cannot violently sign a will, contract, or the form or frame of mind necessary to commit a crime. ठीक है? सो इट इज बीइंग सेड, जो आदमी मेंटली इनस्टेबल होता है उसके पास कोई फ्री विल नहीं होती. देयर इज नो फ्री विल फॉर अ पर्सन हु इज मेंटली इनस्टेबल और मेंटली इम्पेयर्ड. अब आप एक मेंटली अनस्टेबल आदमी, ये क्वेश्चन क्लैट में बहुत बार आया है कि एक बंदा जब मेंटली अनस्टेबल था तब उससे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन कराया गया, क्या वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वैलिड है? नो. बट वो बंदा बीच बीच में, the person is sometimes mentally stable, sometimes he's mentally unstable, right? So when he was mentally stable, there was a contract that was being signed by him. So can he be held liable for such a contract? Yes, he can be held liable because he was on the mental state of affairs where he could understand what is going on, right? So that is what is called the Firosi nulla voluntas est, right? So mentally impaired person cannot enter into a contract, okay? Because they are considered that they don't have free will. आप mentally ill का exception भी होता है criminal law के अंदर. अगर आप murder कर देते हैं and you prove that you were mentally unstable, then definitely it's an exception in the court of law, in the criminal law. So the court will definitely not give you the heinous punishments that they used to give because you are under the exception of law, right? So mentally unstable person is also such an exception. The next is interest republica ut sit finis litem, right? That means it is in interest of the state that there should be an end to litigation, right? जैसे काफी सारे हमारे अभी कंट्री में चीजें चल रही हैं, उसके अंदर हम चाहते हैं लिटिगेशन खत्म हो and there has to be an end, right? It is because it is either in the interest of the state or interest of the people. We have to do that. It means it is in the interest of the state that there should be an end to the litigation. That means interesta republica. That means interest of the republic, right? So that means interest of the state. Ut sit finis litem. That means the end of the litigation, right? So very easy. Interest republica से आप समझ सकते हैं interest of the state. उसके आगे जो लिखा है आप उसको decode भी कर सकते हैं. Very easy term to remember, not very difficult. These are all Latin maxims, so definitely it will take you some time to get comfortable with them, but once you start understanding, it's not going to be very difficult for you. Okay, the next is Justitia nemin negenda est. That means justice is to be denied to nobody, right? So all we know is a justice is for everyone. It is the legal right for everyone to get justice. So justice is to be denied to nobody. That is the term that is being used here. Just soil is right of soil. जिस soil पे आप होते हो उसका right है, so that is called the just soil. Just sanguines, that means right of blood or descent. ठीक है, अगर आपको कोई right blood से मिला है या descent से मिला है, so that is called the just sanguines. Now the lex non a regit est volenda, that means the law must not be violated even by the king, right? The king can do no wrong, that is another term, but here the law must not be violated even by the king. So that is something that you have to remember. Lex non a rege est volenda, right? So volenda means violation basically, okay? So you have to understand that. So the law must not be violated even by the king. That is the term that is here. The next one is gratia vertis naturae. That means truth through God's mercy and nature. Okay, so there is a story of king that you will study where the person was punished, where he was told to walk on the flames, right? And this was a common practice that was being done to punish people, that if you survive that, then it is the mercy of the God and the nature. If you don't, that means you have committed the crime. Very simple. So old times में ऐसे ही punish किया जाता था. So gratia virtus naturae means truth through God's mercy and nature, right? That is what is being said here. Now, hec et nunc, that means here and now. Very simple. I have kept these simple terms. अगर कभी दिख जाए आपको exam में, then you should know that this is what they can mean. Okay, hic means here, nunc means now. Okay, ibidem, that means in the same place, usually used in bibliographical citations to refer the last source or previous references. Okay, so that is what is being said here. That is ibidem. अगर कहाँ से लास्ट रेफर हुआ था या लास्ट सोर्स क्या था इस चीज का, इसके बारे में बात होती है. सो डेफिनेटली दैट इज कॉल्ड ibidem, right? In the same place. Coming to the next term, that is malum prohibitum. That means in a way opposite of malum in se. That is something that you should understand. Now, this is a homework for you guys. So go and search the meaning of malum in se, right? Then you will understand this term. I'm giving you as an homework or like a task that you can take and definitely read about it. The next is misnomer. That means a wrong or an inaccurate name or term, right? So if you've done a misnomer, that means you have used the incorrect name or a term of for something. Okay, mutatis mutandis, that means with the necessary changes having been made or with respective differences having been considered. अगर कोई कंपनी होती है या फिर कोई भी इंसान के personal problems भी, so they tell them to reconsider them or differences have been considered, whatever. So there can be a lot of things in that manner. Okay, with the necessary changes having been made. It can be in a company, personal setting, whatever. Okay. Next is nemo bis punitor pro eodem delicate. That means nobody can be twice punished for the same offense. ये तो हमारे double jeopardy इसका नाम है Indian Constitution के अंदर. आप इसके बारे में जरूर पढ़िए. Double jeopardy means a person cannot be punished twice for the same offense. ठीक है, अगर आपने एक offense किया है तो आप उसके लिए दो बार पनिश नहीं हो सकते, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाट इज बीइंग सेड. द नेक्स्ट इज नीमो डेट बिस एक्सारे प्रो una et edem causa. That means it means no man shall be punished twice for the same offense. The same term but in a different Latin language. Okay, same चीज लिखी हुई है, ठीक है, बट अलग अलग टर्म्स में. चलिए, the next one is nemo protest esse tennis et dominos. Nobody can be both a landlord and the tenant of the same property. Obviously, अगर आप मालिक है उस प्रॉपर्टी के तो आप टेनेंट कैसे हो सकते हैं? तो ये भी एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग टर्म है. तो ये भी हमारे लैटिन मैक्सिम से आती है. ठीक है, अगर आप किसी प्रॉपर्टी के ओनर हैं, ऑब्वियसली आप उसके टेनेंट नहीं हो सकते. आप उसको टेनेंसी पे दे सकते हैं, बट आप खुद टेनेंट नहीं हो सकते उसके. ऑब्वियसली आप खुद से रेंट तो चार्ज नहीं करेंगे, राइट? नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज nolle prosequi. That means a formal notice of abandonment by a plaintiff or a prosecutor of all or a part of a suit, right? Plaintiff ने अगर abandonment कर दिया है, right? That is a formal notice for that, right? Or the prosecutor of all or part of a suit. ठीक है, जब prosecutor ने abandon कर दिया या फिर plaintiff ने abandon कर दिया, so that is what is being said here. Novation, that means transition in which a new contract is agreed by all parties to replace an existing contract. अगर आपका किसी के साथ रेंट अग्रीमेंट था, सोचिए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है कि 10 साल का, अब वो आप चेंज करना चाहते हो, अब 10 साल खत्म हो रहे, जब 15 साल में आ रहे हो आपने एक 15 साल का नया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना लिया. सो न ट्रांजैक्शन इन विच अ न्यू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज अग्रीड बाय ऑल पार्टीज टू रिप्लेस एन एग्जिस्टिंग वन. आपने साइन किया तो एग्जिस्टिंग वाला चला गया, अब नया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट स्टार्ट हो चुका है, राइट? सो दैट इज अ transaction. Or it can be while the contract is going on, आप बीच में भी नया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना के उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को null and void कर सकते हैं, and you can start with a new contract also. That is also possible. That is called the novation. Now coming to the next term, that is Pacta sunt servanda, that means agreement must be kept or agreements are legally binding. अगर आप किसी भी agreement को तोड़ते हैं तो वो legal binding है, आपको एक law of court में ले आया जा सकता है for breach of an agreement also, right? That's the Latin maxim here, right? Particeps crimis, that means a participator in actual crime or partner in crime, right? Basically it's very simple term. ये आ सकती है ऐसी छोटी छोटी terms आपके AILET AIM set exams में SLAT में भी पूछी जाती हैं. So make sure that you are learning a little bit of these terms also, and if you are looking at the video, it's going to make it simpler for you guys. Okay, so a participator in the actual crime or partner in crime is called the participes crimis. Now the next is persona non grata, that means a person who is unacceptable or unwelcome, right? अगर कोई इंसान जिसको आप नहीं चाहते, unwelcomed है society में और unacceptable है, that is the kind of person that is called persona non grata, right? Not very difficult to understand. I hope I have covered a lot of terms today, so you will be benefiting from these terms surely. Coming to the next term for the day, that is quantum meruit, which means what one has earned or the amount he deserves. Okay, so quantum means money or the amount. Merit means meritum means merit. ठीक है, जितना उसने who one has earned or the amount he deserves, merit पे जितना कमाना मिलना चाहिए उसको, right? So quantum meruit. Now the next is quid setet quamdam certia debit et onus. That means it means he who receives advantage must also bear the burden. Advantage मिली है तो burden भी मिलेगा, right? So that's the kind of thing that you have to remember. Res judicata pro verita actuarius, that means it means that a judicial decision must be accepted and we can say that we don't accept it, and things of that sort happens in the countries now. But earlier, when these Latin maxims were made, it means that it means that a judicial decision must be accepted as correct. There cannot be anything above the judiciary also. Still now you cannot challenge the decision of the Supreme Court also. That requires a lot of strings to pull here and there. So definitely you have to accept it as it's correct, right? Coming to the next term, that is opinum fides, that means utmost good faith. अगर आपने कोई चीज good can also be said as ubrami faide, that means utmost good faith, right? It can be used either or. Now vox populi, that means the voice of the people being asked a lot of law and exams. So that is something that is very, very important for you guys, the voice of the people. Waiver means voluntarily giving up or removing the conditions. Obviously waiver ho jata hai, fees ka, loans ka, a lot of things happens of that sort, right? So that is it for today, guys. Thanks for joining the session. I hope you liked the session, and do hit the like, share. Make sure that you are maintaining the 6 feet distance also for yourself. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Take care.